Welcome back to the show. Well, with spring in the air, I know it's a little gray out there, but a lot of people thinking ahead to spring and summer. And if you want to make that outdoor space somewhere where you can gather with friends and family, the first thing that comes to mind for most people is building a deck. And he joins us again here on the show to talk about building a deck and what you need to do. I'm joined by Ryan Branton from Branton Construction Group. Welcome back.
Yeah, great to be here.
Have you. You're like I love it because now we have like our expert go-to guy when it comes to construction. No, but it's true. It's true. And I think when it comes to decks, first and foremost, is number one thing people do or don't do is get a permit.
Here we go. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't plan and don't get a permit. Do you have to get a permit, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, okay, let's get into it. So if your deck is bigger than 120 square feet, you need a permit. Okay. Right? If your deck is higher than 24 inches off the ground, you need a permit. And that 24 inches is everywhere. If you have one area that's a little higher because your yard, then you need a permit because you need a railing then. They want to make sure your railing's done right.
Right. You and I, we always talk planning. So that's even, okay, I want a deck, that's great, but you should plan. Do you need to do drawings?
I would. Yeah. I would, absolutely, because you need to, there's multiple different ways to build a deck. Where do you want the staircase? How do you want all that framed? And you're going to want to get some quotes, right? So you want to be able to show your contractor, hey, this is what I want to build. Can you build it this way? How much lumber do I need? Does it make sense to buy, to make it this size,
Right.
So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, should you have some, we all have our own ideas, right? I mean, I look at my backyard and I go, well, this is what I want. But getting somebody else's perspective, getting somebody that can do drawings.
Absolutely. Get a designer. They'll be able to talk to you. Their job is to understand what it is you want functionally and communicate with your general contractor so I know how to build it.
Right.
I'm a builder, right? I'm going to go in there, I'm going to build a plan. I don't necessarily think all the time about function. The designer, the person who's looking at that, they're going to say, hey, where do you want your barbecue, Derek? That kind of stuff.
Right. Let's talk wood. I know footings is before wood, but we've got some bigger pieces that we're gonna showcase here. But there are different options. So let's first of all talk pressure treated.
Pressure treated lasts forever.
Right.
Good on a budget, right? Now, not necessarily the easiest to stain and make pretty because it's got chemicals in it. If you're doing something like this, you're going to want to let it sit for a year, maybe a year or two before you start staining it or definitely changing the color. If you do nothing, it turns a beautiful shade of gray. And that's fantastic. But this product is budget, right? Friendly.
Right.
And easy to work with.
Do you recommend staining? You don't want to paint it.
No.
Right? Listen, I have a family member who did the painting, and I mean, that means every year you're going to be repainting that thing.
Once you start,
you're done.
You can't
but
stop.
staining, you could probably get away with not having to do it
as much,
right?
As much, yeah. But I like sealers. I like sealing the deck. I like getting into the gray that you want because this will go gray, and then you just do that Thompson water seal, and it will last forever.
Nice. Let's talk cedar.
Cedar's
another great option.
A beautiful wood. Don't drop anything.
Especially the big pieces.
Yeah. Cedar's a beautiful wood. It's naturally meant to be outside.
Right.
It smells wonderful when you're working with it. I love working with it.
Me too.
A little more expensive.
Yep.
Right, a little more expensive, but it will last also the test of time and give you that look that you want.
So, again, maintaining it, water seal.
That's it. That's what I would. That's what I would do. But I've seen some people stain it, and it really, really looked good.
Okay.
If you're going to try to change the color, that's going to be a losing battle, especially in our climate with the snow and all that stuff on the deck.
Gotcha.
Changing the color, like if you want to go to a gray. That's always hard.
Okay. Lastly is composite, and I'm guessing this is your most expensive choice, right?
It is, and I find it difficult to work with. Composite can be, if it's really, really cold, it can be very fragile to work with. If you're building in those early spring, today, I wouldn't want to be outside today with the rain. When it gets really, really hot, it can warp when you're installing it, so you want to make sure you have a good day to install it. But again, this product will last forever.
Right.
And then some.
Yeah, exactly. Does it? The one thing that always scared me is wondering, does it heat up a lot? Like bare feet?
They've gotten better at it with the new technologies, but absolutely it gets nice and toasty.
Alrighty, something to keep in mind. Let's talk footings. As I said, I mean, that's really the starting point, right?
Absolutely.
When you're building a deck.
Yeah, so we got three major kind of types of footings, right, that we like to talk about. Let's talk about this one. This is a floating deck block.
Right.
This is if you're building that deck that's smaller than 24 inches and not more than 120 square feet. You could build this. You can put this on your grass or dig a little hole, put some crushed stone in it, and build on it. The thing about this is the earth will take it. It will start to sink into the earth if you don't do a good base. So when I go look at homes and people are like, oh, I really want a new deck because I just bought my brand new house. wait, because they just backfilled that brand new house, right?
Right.
So this thing here is it's gonna disappear. Now your deck's gonna start sinking towards your house. I see it from all the time.
So is that because of the the climate that we have, or you're talking sort of the heaving?
The heaving and the frost, and in Orleans especially with the clay,
Really?
it just sucks it right in, right? Especially those new houses. So if I go to a new house, I'm like, let's not wait, let's not build this right now.
Okay. Another option is this here.
Yeah. So
right?
then we have this. So this is super special. This is available at Home Depot. It's about $30. It's adjustable, so it's got a little screw on it, right?
Okay.
You put a 2x4 in here and you turn it into the ground. Again, this is not something that you would do if your deck was permitted. Like if you needed a permit, this is not something the city would be looking for.
Okay.
But certainly if you're building a smaller deck or a small platform, these are awesome. You can also use these for fences. They have these like little attachments that you can put on that will allow you to put a fence on this.
Gotcha.
Super do-it-yourself friendly.
Right.
I think they're like $30. Wonderful.
And I imagine it depends on sort of the type of earth you have for that too, right? If you're in Rockcliffe,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Well, trying to turn that thing in might be a little bit difficult. Okay.
But if you're in Rockcliffe, maybe this is your best bet.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about this big piece here behind us here. Yeah.
So this is one of the smaller units that we use. Okay, so this is what we use, us contractor use to build deck. This is called a techno post.
Okay.
Okay. This green thing is a frost sleeve. So if the frost grabs it, it moves this and not the post.
Okay.
Right. Now there's a machine. I don't know how to describe it. It's like a little tiny backhoe. Goes in your backyard. It hooks up to this. It turns it into the ground. As it turns into the ground, it gets a torque reading. What is the pressure it's fighting back? That tells us it's engineered. It tells us how much weight it can hold.
Wow.
So at the end of it, the city wants this. Okay?
Right.
The alternative to this is the old sonnet tubes. Remember the sonnet tubes?
Yeah,
right?
I do.
Well, you can't just put sonnet tube in the ground anymore. The city won't have it.
Interesting.
You've got to have a footing. So a 2x2 pad. So if you're building, if you think about that, 2 feet by 2 feet, a pad everywhere you need a post, your backyard's destroyed. We've dug up your whole backyard to put these pads in.
Yeah.
These things here, they come in, they're done in a day.
I love it.
And then you're building.
Ryan, always a pleasure having you on the show. I want to remind everybody, if you're looking for somebody to help you design and build, you can head over to thebrantongroup.com, find out all the information, and they can help you from beginning to end of any project. We'll be right back after this.